Twitter. A dying platform? Almost certainly. A wretched hive of scum and villainy? Absolutely certainly, but then that's part of what makes it so fun. But then Twitter has also worked its way into the media, especially the news, such as it is a really good source of information and links, and plus you can have an endless stream of porn directly channeled right to you in your mobile device without having to go looking for it. There are many reasons why people might want to still use Twitter. So you're starting a Twitter account. Maybe you've forgotten your password and can't recover it for your old account. Maybe you're new to the platform. Maybe you lost your Twitter account for some incomprehensible reason.
But shut up, Wesley!
Whatever the case might be, one of the first things you're going to have to do is follow people, and this is one of the most important things you can do as you're setting up an account. But there are pitfalls and there are traps waiting for you. No, not those kind of traps. One of the first things you're going to want to do when you get an account is you're going to want to follow lots of people. You're excited about this new platform that you've got on. You're going to go looking for all kinds of people, all sorts of things and products and actors and whatever else that you want to see what they're up to. And yeah, Twitter's a good place to do that. Wait. There's a small safe harbour right at the start while you're setting up your account where they recommend certain accounts you can follow. That seems to be safe, but once you're out into Twitter proper and looking for people to follow, you need to be really careful that you don't follow too many people too quickly, or your account will be closed. Well, not closed exactly, but locked down so that you can't do anything with it. This is going to be profoundly off-putting to you as a new user. So pace yourself. Now, there are good reasons why they do this. They're trying to prevent spam bots or attempts to get tons and tons of followers on brand new accounts and so on, but it is really one of the core functionalities of Twitter to be able to follow people and be followed, and if you do too many too fast, they're going to start thinking you're a bad monkey. So avoid that. Pace yourself. You're not going to want to follow people who are absolute wankshafts, so there's some red flags. The first one of these is probably to look at the avatar that they're using. Now, traditionally, and so much as anything online can be said to have a tradition, the people that get the most scorn are those with anime avatars from Japanese cartoons, but a huge swathe, a broad amount of people use anime avatars, so you have to take that really on a case-by-case basis. But there are some avatars which are genuine warning signs, which you should check. Now, does their avatar represent them in a way that is entirely counter to reality? If so, you're likely dealing with someone very narcissistic who won't be able to cope very well with the rough and tumble that is the standard nature of Twitter. So you should probably avoid them. You should also probably avoid anyone with a national flag very predominantly displayed within their avatar, because they're likely to be arseholes of an entirely different stripe. And I've also tended to find that people with sporting images, particularly footballers, tend to be trolls far more reliably than people with anime avatars. So keep an eye out for those. The display name isn't the @ It's not what you put in when you want to talk to somebody. It's the name that's displayed on their profile. And there's one really big red flag when it comes to that. and that is if they've put emojis in their name. If someone is going to put emojis in their name, then they're probably going to overuse them in everything else that they do, and that can render what they're trying to say or write incomprehensible or annoying. You know, there's a reason we progressed from pictograms and pictographs. You know, hieroglyphics are cool and all, but we have much clearer and better ways of conveying information now than pictures. Learn to write. Short of actually going in and poking around someone's timeline to see the kind of things that they post, their profile is probably going to be the biggest giveaway. It's the biggest space you have to express yourself, and so it's where people tend to expose themselves as gigantic fuck wombats. So go and look at their profile, and there's a few red flags that are going to appear in there that can tell you whether this person is actually going to be worth following. Now, if they say they're a comedian, but you've never heard of them, then odds are they are profoundly unfunny and have no sense of humour. Don't bother following them. It's just not worth it. There may be exceptions, but I have never found one. Another thing to look out for is if someone has their pronouns in their profile. Now, nothing against trans people, non-binary people, whatever. Call yourself whatever you like. But the kind of people that put their pronouns in their profile are the kind of woke you only really get by doing 3 rails of coke off a rent boy's ass and chasing it by shotgunning a whole crate's worth of Red Bull. And they're going to be performatively woke, to the extent where they're going to have absolutely no sense of humour, and they're very likely to set mobs of wankers on you, and their timeline is very likely to be incredibly tedious. Now, in certain people, non-binary people, trans people and so on, it kind of makes sense, but then there are people that are straight, cis, het, white male people who still put their obvious pronouns in their profile, and they're likely to be the absolute worst. Now you've got your account, you're going to want to keep it, and then the only absolutely safe and surefire way to do that is to lock down your account and never say anything. Assuming you actually want to use the platform rather than just passively sit there and lurk. Well, I've got no advice, because everything is entirely arbitrary. A lot of it seems to be run by bots and algorithms, and there's basically no way you can get to talk to a human being short of blind luck. So keeping your account, also going to be blind luck. So you're probably going to want to make several accounts. These aren't about avoiding a ban that's there, it's just so that you have options in the future. So that's the best I can suggest. But there's some suggestion that things might be getting better, even as censorship sweeps across all forms of social media, and people misuse tools to take out people they don't like from having access to these platforms. But even so, there has been a mass walkout of a certain kind of wanker from Twitter.
Shut up, Wesley.
With them gone, it's likely to be a much better, more usable platform, more like it used to be back in the old days. People flirting, people making jokes without being constantly called out for it. With them gone, it may well return to the golden age of yesteryear, and we can only hope that that's the case. Zang. Well, I've got you just a quick reminder that I may be offline some of today, some or all of tomorrow, and when I return I will have shiny new fibre, so look forward to that, but don't panic if I'm not around.
Now I'm so nasty, now I'm so greedy, now I'm so lonesome, girl I'm so needy, I wanna take you, make you my girl.
horrible what happened today. See, I don't like I have, okay, like a lot of you, I hate a lot, you know? But I hate with style and creativity. Yeah!